Hello, folks, and welcome to Norwood High School. I'm Joe Panola along with Nora Glynn. Nora, we get to cover boys volleyball today. This is exciting as Norwood takes on Norton. I'm sure we're going to mix up the two school names, but two schools that are very, very evenly matched. Norton is 3-4, Norwood is 2-4.
So this will be good?
Norwood's taken some big sets from a couple teams against Nipmuc in particular recently. That's kind of a strange school that we play sometimes in volleyball, but it's been a good start for the boys team, led by a trio of seniors, and for Norton, they've got some strong hitters as well.
So I'm excited to be here. I'm not going to lie, I'm glad we're inside today. Oh, but I guess they've started, so.
Absolutely, away we go. And Norwood gets the first attack right off the bat. So Norton will come back with number 12 for them. That's Ailton Ivora. We'll be seeing a bunch of him. And this one is tucked a little bit long for Norwood, and the Lancers are on the board to start things 1-0. Norwood has a starting crew today of number 2, Akeem Cohen, number 8, Sebastian Eugene. Number 11 is Nate Kravitz. Number 13, a freshman, Cy Randall. Number 16 is Mateo Diaz. He's wearing that black jersey as the libero, and he fields this one nicely with his hands. Norwood also has Luke Fleming, number 18, and Xavier Watkins, number 30 out there to start the contest. So this one gives Norton a little bit of trouble, and Norwood collects the point.
Do we have number 28? Looks like 28.
Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to figure out here. I've got to assume that that's X, who is supposed to be wearing number 30, that he's wearing number 28 today. We will do a little double check, see if there's anything we missed, but he is listed as Norwood setter, so I've got to imagine Xavier Watkins wearing a different jersey today. So back at the service line, here's his second one. Norton goes to their outside hitter. That is a lefty, so that'll be interesting to see. Ray Mello Cruz wearing number 1 for them. Norton's setter, who I was talking to a little bit before the game, is Anthony DeMore. And he had some pretty nice sets kind of getting ready, so that's going to be a weapon for Norton, being able to push it outside, go to the weak side as well. And Norton now will send number 12, Ailton Ivora, to the line with a 2-2 tie. Comes to Diaz, a little bit of an awkward handle. Norwood somehow keeps it up. And it comes right to the libero for Norton. That was Alex George, number 2. And the Mustangs kept it up for a quick moment.
Akeem was diving for it, but I think it might have hit.
Yeah, Mateo Diaz kind of laid out. It was right in front of him, and Akeem was right near it. But either way, it's Norwood's point. So the Mustangs now down 1, and this serve goes way long. A little bit too much power on that one from Ivora. And it'll turn it over to Akeem Cohen and the Mustangs.
Akeem's only a sophomore, correct?
He is, and then Norwood has a wide mix of ages on this team as we get a big kill from Andrew Stroney in the Lancers.
Right on the line, yeah, that was close.
But yeah, you look up and down the Norwood roster. They've got 5 freshmen. They've got 6 freshmen, 3 seniors, a junior, and a sophomore. So you've got the leadership at the top. You've got the
youth on the bottom.
The youth at the bottom to kind of bring the future, I guess, towards the Norwood program. There's no JV team this year. Norwood boys have had a JV team in the past, coached by Courtney Beauregard, who is the assistant coach this year. Coach Nimblett, I was talking to him a little bit before the game and earlier today, and he was saying they hope to get a JV team in the future.
I bet, I bet with the junior high, with the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, I think that might start him just young enough to have that interest.
Coach Nimblett is a real asset for the Norwood program, teaching at the middle school.
Perfect.
As he's able to kind of drum up some interest pretty well. I know he does it a lot with the girls program, especially heading into the fall. And the boys team seems a little bit revamped this year. They've got some energy kind of coming into the contest, but find themselves down 2. So now at the line, it is Ray Mello Cruz. He is a lefty, as we've already mentioned in this contest. Line drive serve, which can be a little bit tricky, but Eugene handles it nicely. Goes for the kill, and it's a miss hit off of him. Puts Norton up 3. So Mello Cruz now continuing in the line. Norton's got a front line right now of number 3, Bryson Chartier. Number 5, who is their setter, that's Anthony DeMore, and number 9, Andrew Stroney, who Nimblett was saying is the one to watch. Stroney is double blocked this time as Norton gets a couple players in his face. This one is handled nicely by Akeem, and ultimately Norwood will get the kill and the point. Substitution now coming for the Lancers as Ray Mello Cruz checks out, and Benson Chang, number 4, will enter. And Norwood now will have number 13, Cy Randall, at the line. Good serve from Cy that comes to Alex George, and ultimately Stroney puts it over. Watkins now for the middle. Eugene, a little miscommunication for Norton. They try to keep it alive off the foot of Evora.
It is legal.
You can do that.
It is legal,
but it doesn't quite go Norton's way.
We never did encourage that in PE class. However, it is legal.
That's right. And I always used to say when I was coaching, if you can get there with one hand, you can get there with two. Sometimes you see kind of that beach one-arm hit. To the outside for Stroney, taps it over with the left hand. Now Watkins goes over for number 25 for Norwood. Don't quite have him on our roster, but we'll see if we can get that figured out. Watkins for the middle. Eugene with a little bit of a gentle push, almost stepped over the line, but showed good footwork.
Whoa.
Diaz with a dig, keeps it in play. And now Norton quickly over for Demore. Watkins will have to push it. He takes something off of it, and it's effective. Give the kill to Xavier Watkins on that one.
What a nice way to do that. So it throws them off. It's kind of like the slow pitch in softball.
Absolutely.
They go, what? Can't do it.
So Norton will keep Randall at the line with the score tied up. Here's Stroney, who again has to go to the left hand. Watkins sets up number 25. It's a very high set, and Norwood gets the kill again. They've been on a roll with that one, and I've got to imagine 25. I'm going to venture a guess that it's Luke Fleming. Looking down at Norwood's roster, I don't see 18.
I don't see 18, you're right.
But Coach Nemblet had singled him out. So we're going to have to talk to the coaches about getting those jersey numbers.
Update this. So this one we can see all the numbers.
Absolutely. Watkins tries the same thing, but this time Chartier is wise to it.
Nice
and
block.
The kill attempt from Demore doesn't go, and Sebastian Eugene says, give me some of that block energy.
Nice run by Norwood here.
Yeah, they were down 7-4. They've gone on a 5-0 run here and now find themselves up 9-7. The set once again for Stroney almost hits the coach. And Norwood's run continues here, Nora.
That's just good. And he's a freshman serving.
Right.
Cy Randall, freshman, so.
The future is bright for the Norwood program. Randall once again. This one, I think that was the classic announcer jinx, Norglen.
I did it. So sorry.
So either way, Norton will go back to the line, but Norwood with quite a run here. I think I say it every broadcast we do. There is no better coach when the momentum is going, keeping the foot on the gas, than Coach Nemblet. And you kind of saw Norwood getting some of the energy there. Demore with the left hand into no man's land. Randall tried to kick, but Norwood maybe with a little bit of a hole in that defense for the moment, and the Lancers are wise to find that spot. So here is Andrew Stroney on the serve. Doesn't quite get this one to go, and that's a break for Norwood. They'll take that unforced error. And I think we originally had that point awarded to Norton. It's now 11-9 Norwood.
I knew it wasn't 10-10. That was good.
Here's Sebastian Eugene. Good serve that eats up Benson Chang.
Beautiful.
Great spot from him. I think that might have gone a little bit to Chang's left. Maybe thought he had some help from the senior captain Alex George, who's wearing the libero jersey, but either way, a good spot for the senior from Norwood. Eugene again on the serve. Comes to Stroney. The set and the dunk pretty quickly. Bryson Chartier gets the kill for Norton. And in reward for that kill, Bryson will check out as number 12, that's number 13, Jonathan Porter, will check in for the Lancers. Alex George serves, eats up Mateo Diaz. He wants that one back. And George now will head back to the line. So in talking to Coach Nemblet earlier, Nora, he was focused on one matchup in particular in this game. Sebastian Eugene, who has already had a wonderful start to the season for Norwood, him against number 9, Andrew Stroney. Coach was saying that the Lancers go to Stroney almost 70% of the time the way that things work out, and he wanted to see the two of them duel. And right now we're not seeing it with Stroney and Eugene in the back row, but obviously once they come to the front, as we saw to start this game, we're going to be seeing some of the fireworks from the big men here. But either way, here comes Diaz. Took a little something off of it. Nice play by Jonathan Porter to keep it in. And now to Evora. Goes right back for Diaz. Watkins will have to move for it. And a back row set. I said we weren't going to be seeing much of Eugene. He makes me eat my words. Akeem keeps it in. Watkins will send it over. Good rally going here. The set for the back row for Stroney, who tries a push pass. And now Eugene will calm it down. Watkins sends it into the corner. Stroney for Demore. And now for Evora once again, handled nicely by Cy Randall. Now here is Akeem Cohen. Rally continues to go. Almost a miscommunication there.
Whoa.
Cohen almost got the kill. Norton keeps it alive, but it's Watkins who gets the kill.
They had to earn that point, that's for sure. Everybody was busy.
Xavier Watkins did a really nice job knowing his spacing. I think he was as close to the line as you could be without stepping over.
Because that's, and they will call it.
And the setter's already got himself multiple kills this game. Demore to the middle for Porter, and Porter can't quite connect, and the Norwood lead now is up to 4. 15-11 in favor of the Mustangs. And surprisingly, no timeouts from either school so far early on, as this game is flying. So Mateo Diaz will slow things down a little bit. Waits for the whistle. And here comes the serve. It's a good one.
Beautiful, that right over the net like that. Those are hard sometimes to recover.
Push pass from Ileton Evora. Watkins wants some more kills as he dumps it over. And now for the middle, miscommunication there. Andrew Porter wanted it. Jonathan Porter wanted it. Stroney from the back row tried to do it. And there's the timeout, Nora. Was kind of thinking for Norton that we might see head coach Meg Hardman call one. And she does here. So Norton will take a minute to catch their breath. If you are just joining us, catch your breath.
That's
wow.
Right.
This game has come out like a house on fire. Norton.
They are on fire. They're just quick.
Absolutely. Norton jumped out to a pretty big lead. At least in the early going, it was up to 3 points with a 7-4 advantage. But Norwood stormed back thanks to some really good serving from Cy Randall. And now the Mustangs hold a 5-point edge at 16-11. It is a best-of-5 contest, first to 3 wins. They'll play each set to 25. So Norwood certainly still has a lot of game in front of them to cover.
But they definitely came out, they've pulled it together. Good communication so far.
Absolutely.
It seems like they don't, when they think they might have made a kill, they don't stop. They keep going, which is so important because sometimes people are like, oh, that was great. And then you're like, no, they're diving on the other side too.
Exactly. There's been some good rallies. Diaz goes to Chang on the serve as we're back in action. And Evora gets a strong kill down the line. Beautiful spot from Ileton Evora as he collects the kill and gives Norton the ball back with their server at the line. So something you're going to see now with their setter, with Anthony Demore at the service line is Norton is going to now have 3 hitters in the front row because Demore can set and still play that back row position. Here's Eugene, takes a little something off of it. Demore goes to Ray Mello Cruz, a little bit of a strange shot from him. Now for the back row, Stroney almost had a foot of the line. It doesn't matter anyway as he hits it into the net, and the miss hit will send the serve back to the Mustangs. So Xavier Watkins now with it for Norwood. So we'll see now Norwood do the same thing we saw Norton doing a moment ago, as Watkins from the back row will be Norwood's setter. So they'll be able to employ a right side hitter as well as an outside in the middle. Watkins goes to the outside, and Akeem Cohen, who throws it right off the block, and it went out off of Norton. That'll be Norwood's point.
Akeem can, he is a good vertical.
Yeah, head coach
to the ref right now. It's Norwood has the ball.
Yeah, Norton gets the point there. The head coach not exactly happy with that. I took my eyes off it for a moment.
I don't know. I just saw the...
As Watkins gives it right back. So I'm sure in the Norton huddle they'll be saying, ball don't lie about that one. We'll go back and check out exactly what the call was against Mello Cruz. But in the meantime, Norton now will go back to Ileton Evora, who serves it long, and we've had back-to-back missed serves now. Fans starting to fill in for Norwood. There are not many here today, but we do have some on the sidelines as you see the shot of Akeem Cohen. They are coming in, right? And 3 in a row, Nora.
I know it.
So the teams keep sending it back to the other side, saying, hey, we don't want to serve either. And let's see now if Jonathan Porter can make this count, wearing number 13. Porter's serve is a deep one. It stays in, though, as Diaz handles it. And now for Eugene, who has to be careful on the line. What's the call? It goes to Norwood. And the Norton coach kind of standing there on the line. The call is now reversed.
Oh. Did they have a replay on that? Oh, they thought he stepped on the line.
Yep, so very close. Maybe they thought somebody tipped it, but it looked like it just landed on the sideline. Good footwork from the Norton players, excuse me. And it's now Porter with his second serve, another good one. Watkins will go to Eugene again.
Oh,
he's met by a double block, but playing it off the net means the ball is still alive. Demore for Stroney, and he gets a big kill.
And that's what you've been waiting to see.
Diaz was right there, had him lined up and was in good position, but he couldn't quite play it, and Andrew Stroney, who packs a punch with his spike to go along with that big frame, gets the kill. So Porter has been the one who's finally been able to keep the ball in play as a server.
Nice.
Norton goes to Cy Randall, and there's a nice kill for the freshman off of the weak side attack that gives the ball back to the Mustangs with a 20-16 lead.
All right, I'm going ahead here, but there's a career kill sign across the ray from me, so I don't know. Can you see that?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, we need these serves. So I don't know if we're waiting on this. We don't have that info, do we? And
maybe, not exactly. And it's going to be a little bit hard from our vantage point to keep that up. I think that may say 300. We'll confirm that.
Too. And I'm not actually sure who the player is, so.
I'm going to guess Stroney at this point, as he's one of their senior captains. They go to Stroney this time. He's met with a double block. Alex George keeps it up. Stroney again with the left hand gets the kill. The sign hasn't moved from that position, even though the senior does get the kill with the left hand. And Norwood will take a timeout before they let this get too far away from them.
Now they had a nice little lead, so now they're creeping in. And
this has been a game of runs. Coach Nemblet said that Norton is a scrappy team. They will get you in a lot of different ways, and obviously they certainly got the hitters to kind of match that. And we've gotten word that the kills, 500, Nora. 500, so certainly that is quite a number to contend with. We assume it's for Andrew Stroney. We haven't gotten the word.
I think right after he did it, I think that's what you pulled it out.
Absolutely. Thanks to Sam Gurney for the little assist on that one. Sam is a one-man show right now. We are on a single camera shoot, and he is helping you capture all the action. Ron Marshalsea is here as well in the midst of a very busy week for Norwood Community Media. Dancing with the Stars on Friday.
Night, yes.
Norwood News coming out soon. So Ron has his hands full, and Sam is doing a great job rocking his Syracuse gears. He gets ready to head to Newhouse next year. Congratulations to him on that. And in the meantime, Nora, we miss another missed serve. So after the action seemed pretty steady in the early part of the game, both teams have missed multiple serves here in the middle portion. Stroney from an awkward position gets the kill. Kind of surprised himself there. And Norton gets it back now. So 21-19 in favor of the Mustangs. But Norton closing in. Andrew Stroney goes to Akeem Cohen, who puts a beautiful first pass up. And now Norwood tries to get the kill with Luke Fleming, but he's a little bit off the mark. And the Lancers will close within one, I think.
They gave it to,
they gave it to Norwood. So a violation against Norton will keep the ball with Norwood. That one could potentially loom large in this game. The serve comes for George. Demore and a backhand hit from Chartier almost connects for the Lancers. Watkins will send it over. Nicely played by Chartier. Now for the outside.
Nice.
And Ailton Ivora. He has been getting some big kills for them. Another one down the line, and that puts Norton within two. Great look from Ivora. And here is one of the captains for Norton, Alex George. Comes to Mateo Diaz. Watkins for Cohen, who goes off the block, and a diving play by Chang keeps it alive. Porter sends it over, but Demore was underneath the net. Another violation against Norton, and it's a 3-point Norwood lead with Diaz now hoping to ice it.
It'd be nice if he could get these two serves in right now.
Norwood will go with a substitution as Fleming checks out, and number 11 Nate Kravitz will check into the game. The serve eats up Benson Chang, and Norwood on the doorstep of claiming the first.
Oh, nice to get this first one under if they can get it.
So Diaz once again 24-20 in favor of the Mustangs.
See if the senior can do it.
Here's the serve from Mateo. It comes right at Stroney. The set comes for Evora, and Evora goes off the block. Good position for number 11, Nate Kravitz, but he's unable to knock it down, and it goes out of bounds off his hands, point towards Norton. So now Norton will have to get consecutive serves to at least keep themselves in it. It's Anthony DeMore, one of their 3 captains. The serve comes at Sebastian Eugene, who handles it nicely. Here's Cohen for the kill, but it's dug nicely by Alex George. And now Evora comes at Cohen again for the back row. Eugene with top spin, can't quite get enough. And Norton stays alive. Norwood will take a timeout.
Is that ice in the serve?
Yeah, maybe. So maybe giving Anthony DeMore something to think about. This is a Norwood team that has been in every match so far. You kind of look up and down the schedule. Even their losses, they're taking a couple sets each time.
Yes, looks like they go to 5 a lot.
Absolutely. Coach Nimblett was talking about how they started this week with a really tough matchup against Nipmuc Regional. They are in the TVL, I guess, for boys volleyball
because they're a small school, aren't they? At regional.
Yeah, I think they're Upton, a couple schools around
Mendon,
there.
I think that's where they are. Yeah.
So geographically, I guess it makes sense, kind of nearish to Bellingham, Hopkinton, some of those schools that I'm sure is a bit of a travel day for some of these kids.
And then it said they beat Westwood too, who was 3-1. So that was a.
So away we go here as Norton tries to stay alive. Watkins will go to Cohen again as he's been trying to get the sophomore to end this contest with a kill. Stroney tries a deep push. It goes outside the antenna, and Norwood will claim victory in this first set.
So I ran to watch that. He's like, it's going out. I was like, I hope it goes out because he put his hand behind his back, but that's great.
Absolutely. He knew it the whole way, and the teams will now switch sides. Don't go too far because action comes back real quickly in volleyball. This is not like the halftime as it sometimes is for basketball. So Watkins has been a staple of this team for a while. I believe he was...
he's a senior.
Believe he's a 4-year player with this varsity team, had a meaningful role as a freshman himself. I remember him, and I think it was Kyrell Miller for Norwood, who really kind of were a dynamic duo for a while. I think Kyrell moved, and Norwood unfortunately lost his impact. But Norwood, has kind of reloaded. Mateo Diaz, a transfer student, I believe, who has really helped them out and given them a shot in the arm. And he kind of fills, as you see him there in the middle of the court wearing number 16, he fills that libero role that's kind of the role that doesn't get a whole lot of glory.
But they're everything. They're all over the place.
Absolutely. And you can see the way he reacts. I think Mateo, as we get started here in the second set, in the last contest, there was one kill from, I believe it was Stroney, that came right at him. A lot of liberos would kind of back down. Diaz didn't play it well, but he was looking at it. He was like, I got this. I'm in position. He wants the other team to bring their best out of him, and that's what you want out of your libero. So the first point goes to Norton. The second one, as I sing Mateo's praises, comes right at he and Akeem Cohen. A little miscommunication between the two of them. And just like we saw in game 1, good start for the Lancers, but this could change in a hurry.
Absolutely.
So Norwood took the first set, and now the Lancers looking to even the score. Diaz gets caught a little bit off guard there. Norwood will go to the middle, and this one just goes out.
Oh, I thought that was it.
Oh, Nora, you were pointing in. That was my gut, too.
If I was one of the flag people, I might have.
We'll have to check the NCM replays. Nate Kravitz was very close to a kill.
Nobody argued, so it's my eyes.
Diaz with kind of a strange attempt there as he put his hands together. 4-0 Lancers to start this game.
All right, so we got to slow them down.
Norwood on the court right now has their 3 senior leaders. Xavier Watkins wearing number 28 today, Mateo Diaz wearing number 16, and there is number 8, Sebastian Eugene. They go to number 13, Cy Randall, the freshman, for the kill. And Cy, who had a strong first game at the service line, opens the scoring here for Norwood to now make it 1-4. They're still behind 3. So here is Akeem Cohen, a sophomore.
Who's had quite a few kills today, too. He can really he has a nice vertical jump.
Absolutely. So Akeem Cohen, I believe yes, the only sophomore.
Oh, the only sophomore, okay.
Listed on the rosters. So if you kind of look up and down, they've got one sophomore in Cohen, they've got one junior in Nate Kravitz, and the rest are either seniors or freshmen. So you either get experience or you get none of it if you're the Norwood team. Watkins right near the scorer's table, keeps it in and avoids injury, perhaps more importantly. To the outside now for Stroney, who goes long. Coach Nimblett was on it.
That was great hustle.
And Norwood will now go with a substitution as Kravitz checks out. And Norwood will bring number 25. We believe it's Luke Fleming. Apologies if we're getting that wrong. Into the contest. Comes right there at
if you know.
Stroney, absolutely. Diaz falls to the floor as he plays it. A little bit of a push pass from Randall. And Norton collects the kill. A pumped up Andrew Stroney gets a nice high five there from Alex George. And the Lancers now back to their 4-point lead. So here is Ray Mello Cruz at the line. The lefty serve comes right at Diaz. Awkward first pass. And a little miscommunication there between Fleming and Watkins as neither one of them were able to get to it.
You're getting it.
So Ray now with his second serve with Norton up 5, their biggest lead of the day so far in any set. Watkins and Diaz now with miscommunication, and Norwood sends it long. Coach Nimblett, I'm sure, mulling a timeout at this point.
Yep.
And he takes one.
I think he heard you.
After coaching with Paul for, I believe, 5 years.
You know.
Being on that sideline, you kind of get a sense when he's going to take one, and Paul does here. So the Norwood team will talk things over, and a couple of the younger players getting some instruction here from Coach Beauregard on the court, while the rest of them talk it over on the sidelines.
It's a good time to call a timeout.
Norton is up 6, an 8-2 lead for the Lancers. Norwood took the first set, I believe 25-21 in the first set, and now we'll be going right back at it in a moment.
Yeah, so we don't want that 6 to go any more because that's too much of a catch-up.
For sure. Norton is 3-4 this season out of the TVL, although they certainly have quite a drive to get here. I believe the only school that has to contend with the 95-495 merge that I have to contend with getting here some mornings. And for Norwood, they are 2-4 this year, but playing really competitively, and that certainly always helps.
Which is sometimes you don't see that in a score, which is unfortunate. You see the record, you don't see what the scores were.
Well, you're starting to see less of that now as Norton serves it out of bounds with the new algorithm format. It used to be just your record is what it is.
That's true, you're right. But I meant the average person that season.
Yeah, there we go.
But as far as tournament, you're right.
That's true, and Norton gets a big kill here from Stroney. But Norwood, taking that set from Nipmuc on Monday of this week, that's big for them.
Right,
that helps a lot because you're taking a set from the top team in your league, whereas the algorithm expects you to lose 3-0.
I hate to say that, but you're right. That's what it is. And it's pretty. I mean, I've done some tournament games.
Oh, it's accurate.
It's so accurate. But they really. They're really good at it. Good thing I'm not doing it.
Like when you're watching a tournament, you don't want to see chalk all the time. You don't want to see the 1 seeds, the 2 seeds, the 3 seeds being the ones that just dominate.
Right.
That tends to be what happens in the tournament, but it really didn't used to be that way because you would get teams with inflated records, maybe because they're not playing as good a competition as we face here in the TVL.
Yeah, it's true.
I know the TVL move in itself was a move that kind of divided this town a little bit, but it's been a good move for the Mustangs.
It's been a very good move. I think there's been so much more success.
And we've got a couple new conference titles to show for it. So Norwood now finds themselves down 4. Did this one get a piece of the Norton blocker? It did not.
No.
And the Lancers are now back up 5 as they lead 10-5 in the contest. And they will send Alex George now, number 2, to the line. So there is George, just off camera. Not sure if you could see him, is Ron Marshalsea. He is doing it all for NCM today. Ron is not only helping to produce this game, but he's also downstairs taking some pictures and getting some video for future use. I'm sure NCM will use that in some of the opens that you see before the contest. I'm sure stuff at the end of the year.
I watch his weekly update. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. He is Ron Marshalsea, and here is your sports update. We love it. Eugene with the kill right in the middle. Nice job from the senior. as he finds a good spot there. And Norton now up 11-6, but Norwood with the serve. So here comes Jake Fleming. Fleming with some strong contact.
I like that. He tried to put it down the line. That was nice.
He did. Trying to take advantage there was Nate Kravitz. I think he saw a spot there.
He did, and it didn't go where he wanted it to.
Not exactly. He was looking towards that second position there on the court, the way they kind of label it. Kind of strange if you're watching a volleyball game for the first time with the service position being number 1. Then your next 3 positions are across the front row with 5 and 6 rounding out the back. So
that's tough.
Maybe not the way anyone would normally expect that to be. Here's a back row push pass from Stroney that goes right to Eugene. Watkins tried to find some space with a little bit of a soft push pass. Good block there from Cohen.
Good volley.
Now Melo Cruz sends it over. Diaz for Watkins. He goes to the middle, and Kravitz makes a little bit of contact with the net, and that will send the point over to Norton. So the Mustangs letting this lead slip further and further away. Norton now has a 13-6 advantage as they send one of their captains, Anthony DeMore, to the line. Here's Watkins for Cohen. Comes right back to DeMore, bumped up by George as he comes to Evora. Good first pass there from Randall for the back row. Eugene almost teats up Evora. And now another push pass from Stroney. Here's Watkins for Cohen, who gets the kill. Hakeem Cohen may not be the tallest player on the team, but he's got some ups.
Absolutely.
And he's already got his share of kills here in this contest.
I have not been keeping track, but he said several.
And let's see who.
Wait for the whistle.
Almost a little bit of a danger there. Norwood didn't quite wait for a whistle. Their front row players are ready to switch. And I think maybe with the Mustangs a little bit out of sorts on that one,
is there
they'll send it over to Norton.
If you go before the whistle?
I'm not exactly sure on the whistle.
Like, I mean, they always, like, they do, like, they blow the whistle every time.
And they're pretty quick, absolutely. There is a penalty, though, if you are out of rotation, which is certainly something to watch. As Norton pushes it right back over. I think a carry on them, yes. As it was such a strong block that it almost made contact with them for a little bit longer. But yeah, if you're out of rotation, they're going to call you on that. They'll give the point immediately to the other team. So that's why in volleyball you see so much switching before the play begins. There's a good attempt from Cohen, who keeps it inside the antenna.
Be tough.
Melo Cruz tries to dump it over. I think he might have stepped over the line. No call, though, as play continues. Watkins now for the middle. Kravitz tries to dunk it, but Melo Cruz is right there. Now DeMore with a push pass. Watkins sees some space deep. A diving play by George keeps it in line.
Nice.
And that kill from Stroney doesn't go.
Wow.
Eugene was there with the dig. He can do it all. Stroney again off the block gets the kill.
That was such a nice volley.
Great job there from Andrew Stroney after he was dug earlier by Sebastian Eugene. Give Sebastian credit. He stared down one of the best hitters on the other team, and he can do it all, playing all around the court.
And while we're talking about him, he has already been named early in the season Boston Globe Player of the Week.
So he has already got that accolade, huh?
Yeah, he's already got some recognition early on in the season.
Absolutely. Now, we can't talk about Sebastian as we see another kill from Stroney without seeing what Stroney's done as those two keep battling. But Sebastian, as Norwood takes a timeout, a lot of other talents as well. He is, I believe, won some Micah Awards for his choral singing. He
does it all.
Absolutely. We had a during the holidays, the Norwood staff was treated to a concert by the Madrigals here, and Sebastian was the one that kind of got things going. He had a solo in the first couple minutes of that, and you can imagine how nerve-wracking a solo must be to do it in front of all of your teachers at the same time.
Okay.
He did a really nice job with it. I also have the pleasure of teaching him this year in the classroom, and he's a great physics student, so he is as well-rounded as they come.
Do we know any plans for him for next year?
I'm not sure exactly. I've got he and I have Mateo Diaz in class as those two get ready to graduate. I'm sure the countdown has begun for them. Mm-hmm. Both of them took a test earlier today, so they are ready to go. And we are ready to go with the timeout over. Norton is up 10 at the moment.
So Norton needs a little. Hopefully that timeout's gonna.
Yeah, Norwood now has spent both of their timeouts. And Norton, what's that?
You get 2 per game? 2%?
Yes, 2 per game. So Norton is out of there, or Norwood, is out of theirs as The Lancers now try to figure out whose serve it is.
Oh, wait a minute now. Can we get a point for that? Didn't we just... Or is she looking at the ball?
Yeah, it looks like, maybe they have switched the volleyball. A little communication issues. The referees are pointing towards Norton, which it should be.
It should be.
Norwood would not have taken the timeout after they had won the point, I'm sure. And I think we've settled it. It'll be Ailton Evora to serve it. So Evora's serve comes for Diaz. Plays it with the hands. Mustangs go to Akeem Cohen as he takes something off of it. Demore. Oh, good spot as he pushes to the back row. Diaz dives for it. A noble attempt from him. But Norton is now up 11, and they are in command of this game.
Who's number 2 for Norton? He's been...
That is Alex George, one of their senior captains.
He's the libero over there. He's been...
Yeah, the libero, sometimes that unheralded player. But I tell you, if you're Norwood and the comeback maybe needs to start somewhere, perhaps that can be it as Evora goes out of bounds on the serve. That brings Sebastian Eugene now to the front row, which obviously knowing his propensity for collecting kills is important. Stroney off the block. And we see a violation. The violation is against Norwood, though, so either way, point goes to Norton, as they call Cy Randall for being in the net on that one. So 19-8 now as the Norton Lancers get a substitution. Bryson Chartier enters the game as Alex George subs out to allow Jonathan Porter to serve. Xavier Watkins bumps it over, but Norwood once again with a violation, a double hit on them.
Oh.
So it is now a 12-point lead. And things starting to get away for the Mustangs as they currently have Diaz, their libero, on the bench. Watkins pulls it off the net. Eugene is close, somehow keeps it in. Here's Melo Cruz, and into no man's land. Once again, Fleming and Watkins, have a little bit of miscommunication there. And Coach Nemblet will get Diaz back in the game as we see Jonathan Porter get ready to serve. So Porter trying to close this out with Norton 4 points away. And Norwood 2 away from even cracking double digits right now. It comes at Diaz. And
just went a little backwards.
Eugene trying to get around his own teammate. Can't quite get there. And the frustration starting to set in for the Mustangs as the Lancer lead is 14. Porter again, a couple of bounces. Here comes the serve. Comes right at Cohen this time. Watkins for Randall. The push pass is met immediately by Stroney, but Norwood sends it right back over. And now for Melo Cruz, who gets the kill. And a big celebration with his setter, Anthony Demore, as the lefty, Ray Melo Cruz, gets the kill from the weak side, and Norton's now within 2. Within 2 of winning it, at least.
Yeah, they've quite the game.
There's the serve from Porter. Watkins goes to Eugene. He's met with a double block of Chartier and Melo Cruz. Now for Stroney, who takes a little bit of an awkward shot there. They're going to call a double hit against him. And Norwood will take the violation against Norton, And now with themselves still trailing by 14, they'll send Diaz to the line as Luke Fleming checks back in. Here's the set for the middle, and Chartier puts it away with the left hand.
I didn't see that coming.
Thought they were going to Stroney on the outside. But the Norton setter, Anthony Demore, called the number of Bryson Chartier, and he's the one that gets the kill. So here's Diaz for Watkins. Norwood with their backs against the wall. They get a kill, though.
They're not going to let them get that point.
Not dead yet, says number 25, Luke Fleming. And Fleming will Cy Randall will head to the line. And Cy now has to be as perfect can get if Norwood is going to come back in this one. Norton is up 24-10, so Cy will need 15 consecutive serves to do it. Never say never, though. Although we can say never now as Chartier gets the kill. Norton takes the second set, and we are now knotted up at 1-1. If you're watching from Norton and you know somebody on the tennis team, check that out. We got coverage of tennis as well in the archives.
We, Kathy and I are doing a game it's at the end of April, softball, but I'm like, okay.
Is it against Norton?
I do not know. I didn't look that far ahead.
All right.
It might be.
I always love listening to you and
It might
Kathy
be.
on the call. You guys are wonderful.
I'm just hoping it's 4. Again, usually the same thing. Starts out at 4 o'clock.
Softball, right?
Softball.
When you get a nice day there down at the lower
Nothing
Cleveland.
Better. You get a cold day?
Absolutely.
Well, those night baseball games.
That's true. We're doing one later this year. I believe on May the 8th, we will be live at 7 o'clock.
All right, by May.
Yeah, we're hoping, right? So away we go now here in set 3. Sebastian Eugene from the back row is no good. And the Mustangs now have a chance to do what the Lancers did not long ago and reverse what happened in the previous set.
I feel like the Lancers always come out and get the first 2 points, so we need to reverse that.
Well, they have at least gotten the first point in both of the games so far. This serve comes at Eugene, who goes to the middle. Kravitz tries to go for the kill, but a nice play by Stroni keeps it in. Now with the left hand, Mello Cruz sends it over. Watkins for the outside. Hakeem Cohen, a bit of an awkward angle. And Mello Cruz was there the whole time, but it goes off of him and gives Norwood the point.
Soft touch didn't do it this time. Sometimes it does.
Well, it did there. He went off the block, right?
Oh, sorry, he did do it. I'm sorry.
Worked out.
That's what I meant. It did work.
Tries it again, and this time they will say that Cohen was in the net. So a violation for him, and Norton collects the point. As we see Ailton Evora heading to the line. So Norton right now with Evora, George, Porter, Mello Cruz, Stroni, and DeMore on their lineup as Norton hits it into the net. Norwood currently with Watkins, Diaz, Cohen, Eugene, number 11, that's Nate Kravitz, and number 13, Cy Randall rounding out their crew. So here is Evora with Norton up 3-1 at the moment. Comes at Diaz. Now Eugene from the back row bumps it over for Watkins. Tries to find a good spot deep, but George is wise to it. And now Evora sends it over with a push pass, but they will call him for a double hit. Kind of an awkward angle with 1 foot on the ground. And Evora, I think, kind of knew it. No argument from him. So here is Hakeem Cohen at the line. High arcing serve that comes pretty short. It comes to Porter.
Whoa.
There's a nice kill from Stroni. And Diaz had him lined up well again. He was right in his sight line. Stroni kind of seems to like hitting it with that same pace, right about halfway to down the court.
Got it down.
Well, you don't teach height like that, and he's also able to put together some really fine mechanics. So here comes Porter on the serve. Jonathan has been very strong from there so far today, and so has Sebastian Eugene from the hitter spot. The outside hitter for Norwood elicits some cheers from the small but mighty crowd here.
And his own teammates.
Absolutely. Hey, sometimes when you're playing volleyball and you get an early match like this, your teammates become the cheering section.
They are.
And even though it's been a small crew for Norwood, they have been loud when the team has been playing well. So here is Mateo Diaz, wearing that libero jersey of number 16. Comes right at Evora. Bumping it over is DeMore. He tries to go to the back, but Watkins does a nice job fielding it. Now a bit of top spin from Xavier. And here's Stroni, who's met with a double block.
Nice block.
I think give that block to Randall at least at first. And it's effective for the Mustangs as they knock things up at 4. So Norwood now battling back with the Lancers. Norwood only put up 10 points in the last set. So this has got to be a great start for them.
Much better start.
At least compared to the last one.
Oh.
Eugene calls off Diaz. Now he'll take it himself. Almost got the kill, but it's dug beautifully by George. And a really nice set on the bump from DeMore that Chartier puts over. Here's Eugene again, and this time he gets the kill.
That was so great to watch.
And a loud cheer for the senior as he delivers. Not a surprise to see why the Boston Globe selected him as the player of the week not long ago. He leads the team in kills, he leads the team in blocks, and he puts them up 1 for the moment.
It comes right back.
This is as close to a mano-a-mano duel that you've got. Eugene gets the kill a point ago, and Stroni says, not so fast, buddy.
I'm gonna do one too.
And he gets the kill coming the other way. So 5-5, and here's Mello Cruz on the service line. Oh, I think it was going out. Cohen plays it. And Diaz, with Cohen knowing that it was probably going out, gives him a little hug there, showing some good sportsmanship. And Melo Cruz now gets it back. So Ray here with Norton up 1. Line drive serve, it's short. And the Mustangs will knot it up again, 6-6.
Advantage that.
Substitution coming in for Norton as we see number 4, Benson Chang, enter the game. He is a defensive specialist for this Norton team. Alex George is probably our top defensive specialist, though, playing that libero position.
He has done a fabulous job.
Watkins tries to dump it over. Chang makes a nice sliding play, and they will say a double hit from Norton, sends it to Norwood, and the Mustangs have the lead.
Very impressed with Watkins. He is.
7-6. Watkins has looked quite good. And, what's going on here?
That went out, but it.
Yeah, looks like they're going to call a violation against Norwood.
Yeah, something.
I was looking on the other side, so I didn't catch it for the moment. But either way, it'll send it back to Norton. And this one, did it go out? It did. Norwood takes the point. Good eyes there from Mateo Diaz, who celebrates.
It didn't go out. They got it.
No.
They did. Wait.
Oh, it did go out. There we go. Yeah, Norton was a little hesitant to give it up.
Maybe that's it.
Now, one thing I've noticed from coaching with Paul on the sidelines, I think there are very few coaches that win as many points themselves as Paul does because he's so loud at calling in and out.
It's like out, in. It's like just call it right away.
He's got a great line. He's sight line. He is decisive and he calls it early. So I have literally seen him win points for the team. And again,
sometimes a player will hold back, or they won't, and he'll be like, "Nope, go for it."
And that one there, I'm sure Coach assisted Diaz on making that call, and it was the right one. Norwood gets the point for it. So here's Cohen, met with a double block. Diaz sends it right back over, but Chang with another diving attempt gets it back in the air. Good first pass there from Eugene. Norwood will try to use it, and they do. Nimblett yells, "Use it," and Luke Fleming answers the call, getting the kill.
That was beautiful.
Big kill there from Fleming, who is a freshman on this team. We're confirming that.
Okay.
And now Luke will head to the line. I believe Luke part of a Fleming family that has a storied tradition in Norwood volleyball. A couple of siblings that I believe have played for the school. I believe Coach was telling me about that. And with that last name, it wouldn't be a surprise, as they have been a great volleyball family throughout their history. And Luke will continue to serve at the line, up 10-8. If it is a different family, I apologize. I'm sure this family is a wonderful Fleming family as well. Tell you, in Norwood, sometimes you get a last name that everybody has. Well, we've got a Glenn at our school right now, right?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, she's related.
Jane does a nice job as a special ed teacher. I was just talking with her earlier today.
Mrs. Glenn hasn't left the building.
That's right.
She has what she has.
We've still got to have a Glenn at the school on the hill, right? Eugene with a bit of a high arcing shot on that one. Norton goes to Melo Cruz, and with one arm, Watkins keeps it up, at least for the moment. And there's some good sportsmanship from him.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, Xavier with a little bit of a quick reaction there, spiked it down and hit the foot
of
Ailton Evora, but he gave him a little bit of a pat on the back, saying, "Sorry, I didn't intend for that to happen that way." Good first pass from Eugene, who Norwood has to scramble, and Kravitz gets it over. Now DeMore for Evora. A little bit of an awkward push pass from him, but Eugene with some good eyes finds the space. He puts up the goggles, and Norwood gets the kill.
In that corner, nice job.
Sometimes the kills will show up on the stat sheet as a pounding spike. At that time, it was just the good eyes of Sebastian Eugene.
Look where they act.
That's it. Hit it where they ain't, right? That's the old baseball adage. Right. And there's a double block. Wow. Nice job.
By number one there.
It was led by Nate Kravitz. Here's Watkins for Cohen, who pulls it off the line. It was very dangerously close to the antenna. Stroney from the back row tries to answer what Eugene did moments ago, but they'll call him for a double hit.
All right, we'll take it.
Much to the dismay of a Norwood team and to the delight of Sam Gurney to my left. So here's Watkins now on the line as the referee explains things over to Anthony DeMore as he pleads his case there. So every team will usually assign a captain of the court, somebody who is going to be playing the full way around. DeMore is that for Norton.
So the coach can't. They have the captain go over, like the coach can't, like.
The captain will get the explanation from the coach.
Okay.
Excuse me, from the referee.
For the coach.
Yep.
I will say this one thing you don't see, or I hope I don't again announcer jinx, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of like, no, that's the wrong call. Like they're just, that's it, that's the call.
Yeah, you watch a basketball game here, and I think sometimes you can hear the swear words fly a little bit.
But college, like all of it, I'm like.
Right.
But I feel like this game, they're like, nope, that was it.
Absolutely, and in a lot of leagues, we saw this when Norwood is in the Bay State Conference. You'll see, each team provide a couple of players as Norwood gets the kill from Cohen. You'll see a couple of players on the corners of the court indicating with flags whether it's in or out. So you kind of get volunteers from maybe the JV or the freshman team.
But they don't have enough players to do.
Well, not only that, but that's not something the TVL does. So.
Oh, it's not the TV.
Yeah, so that is a conference thing.
Why wasn't there any?
Or at least that was when I was coaching. We always had to provide players for varsity, to make that call.
And I remember thinking, well, that's a lot. That's tough. Like that's pressure. I think that's pressure.
It's a lot of responsibility. I remember that my first game coaching at Brookline High School when we used to play against Brookline. We played first, so we always had freshmen and JV play before the varsity match. And then coach basically said, all right, I need 2 players who are going to help us out doing lines. And we just told them, call what you see, make a call, and stick with it. If you start waffling, people are going to sense that there's blood in the water.
And then, booing you.
Absolutely.
But I mean, the 2 officials really. I mean, they have to watch the line violations, but there's one on each side. So.
Yeah, and they do a great job. We got a lot of really good officials in the volleyball circuit. See a lot of kind of familiar faces coming through, and I guess when you get a kill like Stroney just got there's not much room for argument. So 14-10 Norwood right now, as I think we haven't quite mentioned the score in a moment. Apologies for that.
11.
What's that?
14-11.
14-11. Excuse me. So here comes Evora to the line.
I don't know if that's enough.
We'll see. It's been a game of runs, but Norwood is certainly on one right now as they get a kill there from Cy Randall. Randall, who had a really strong first set, now gets a big kill that keeps Akeem Cohen on the line. Serve from him, goes right into the net. A couple of claps from Jonathan Porter, and Porter will collect the ball from his teammate and head to the line himself. So this is the one case right now where Norton will have their libero, Alex George, out of the game. They want Porter's serve on the line. Yeah, he's been really good.
A rare miss.
As Eugene can't quite line that one up. But in order to get Porter's serve on the line, and especially with having George being only able to play the back row, they have to sit George out, at least for the time being. So Porter will serve, at least until Norwood is able to break his streak. And then I imagine we're going to see George come back in. That will do it for breaking the streak as Eugene gets the kill to put Norwood up 16-13. George comes back into the game. And now Mateo Diaz, you're kind of seeing now the other thing. Diaz is Norwood's libero, but he stays in the game to serve. So here comes Diaz's serve with Norwood getting a good look at Ray Mello Cruz, and that one looked in, Nora.
I thought it looked in the game.
Yeah, kind of strange because it didn't have a ton of top spin off of Mello Cruz's hit right there. But it did kind of sneak into the spot. And, we're getting a couple more fans. There was somebody ready to roll that back in.
Yeah, it's filling up.
There we go. So Mello Cruz again, now with Norton only down 2. Comes at Diaz, who has to dive for it. Randall sets up. Some communication trouble once again. It's been kind of Fleming and Watkins that have been having some trouble. It's good to see them both going for it.
Right. Love the effort.
But the floor is not on your team, so you don't want the floor to get it ultimately in the end. There's a once-over from Cohen as he sends it over on the first hit. And another kill from Andrew Stroney.
And they tied it up.
I believe at this point Andrew has passed 500 by a little bit of a margin, as you see the sign there on the sideline. With the score knotted up at 16-16, Coach Nimblett will take a timeout and talk things over.
This is something that's within their reach. They can do this.
Norwood is up by, I believe, 4 or 5 earlier in this contest.
They were at one point, yes.
And they have let that lead slip away from them, but Coach Nimblett and Coach Beauregard trying not to let it slip it away any further here. So the two teams will talk things over. There's a shot of the Norton team. As we see right on the ground in the middle of that huddle is Ailton Evora. Benson Chang right in there as well. So maybe those two seeing something that they can share with the coaches here. And Norwood will break the huddle as well. So back at it. Let's see if Niblett was able to ice out Ray Mello Cruz a bit here. Norton breaks the huddle with Mello Cruz, George, and Evora along the back line, and Stroni, Chartier, and Anthony DeMore along the front. Norwood will set up Sebastian Eugene.
They thought he was going.
A little bit of a nifty shot. I think the whole world thought he was going line on that one. But Sebastian once again showing a good eye for the court. Connects on that one and puts Norwood up 1.
You have to think so fast, which is great that you can. And again, he comes right back.
Not to be outdone.
Here we go.
This is a battle between Eugene, who kind of got the crafty kill a moment ago, and Stroni, who leaves no doubt about that one and sends himself to the line.
I'm coming back.
So Norwood will now hope to turn the tide pretty quickly with the game tied up 17-17. They have Eugene in the front row. They go to him, but this time it's Bryson Chartier who gets a huge block. Without Stroni in the front row, Norton still finds an answer for Eugene, and number 3 is there to do it. A huge kill, or a huge block, excuse me, for the Lancers. And now Norwood gives a big point as the whole Lancer team jumps up in celebration.
That with a clear, just, they didn't talk.
So Stroni with the kill, and now Norton starting to play with a little swagger here up 2. The serve from Stroni comes at Diaz, sends it over on 1, and Chartier has the answer again. Bryson has been anchoring this front line, and Coach Niblett takes another timeout here.
I was going to say that might be a good time. Just they had a couple of quick points that were like, wait, what happened?
So how quickly the tables have turned. Norwood was up big, I believe up 4 or 5, maybe even 6
at one point.
At one point in the middle of this contest, but now they find themselves down 3, and Norton only 5 away from closing out a set 2 win.
You can almost see the energy of the Norton team changing a little bit.
Yep.
Like, okay, we got this, and quick, let's go.
Norton had a lot of energy in warm-ups. I was watching before this game. The way they kind of warmed up, getting both sides going, they had a really good pace to their warm-up. It was surprising to see them come in kind of a little bit slow and now go on the run that they've been on. But this is a team that can certainly get energy in a hurry. We know that can happen in Norwood.
Yep.
And they're going to need some of that energy right now. Eugene tries to dump it over. That little hit from DeMore doesn't quite go, so the Lancers will have to settle for a push pass. But I tell you, if it's going to start, maybe it can start here, right?
That's right. Go, and look, we have serving. This is.
So Sebastian Eugene will serve, which is good given Sebastian's serve, but you don't have him in the front row right now. So all eyes at the moment after a good serve from Eugene are going to be on Fleming and Cohen. But a violation here will give it to Norwood. I think one of the Norton players was swimming in the net. And Norwood is now within 1, trailing 19-20. Norton quickly hustles back into position. The pass from Benson Chang comes to the setter. DeMore tries to swing. Ooh, they will give the point to Norton. And the Norwood sideline says that he was in the net. I tend to agree from up here.
Yeah,
But either way, maybe the play was over by the time Evora finished his swing there. Either way, Norton up 2 with Alex George at the line. Comes at Diaz, so George getting the serve this time around in the cycle. DeMore for Stroni, who jumps over that line and gets the kill from the back row. And no, they're going to give the point to Norwood.
He used his foot.
Yeah, so you see the red line on that court kind of
that's the, okay.
Maybe about a third of the way along the court. You got to stay behind that line at least when your feet leave the ground. So I think maybe Stroni might have taken an extra step in there, as he certainly can't kill from the front row when he's in the back. And they're going to call a carry there.
Yeah, they were just fiddling with it.
So Nate Kravitz called for that one.
Kind of like the kitchen in pickleball.
That's right. That is the rule that I struggle with when playing pickleball. I forget about it, put my hands to my head, and say, all right, I'll remember next time. Either way, 22-20. Norton 3 points away from closing out set 3.
This is a lot like the first match. I feel like it's like been a back and forth. One team had the lead, then the other team had the lead.
It's been the most competitive match so far.
Really,
And Norton is now back within 1. They're feeling it, Nora.
So Norton will have control, which is nice.
And so will be Xavier Watkins. So now if you're Norwood, you have the advantage of your server being in the back row, and that allows them to have 3 hitters, including a weak side hitter in the front. And this kill from Stroney, just long.
I thought that was in.
I tend to agree with you on that one.
I thought that was in.
Although there's a lot of players closer to the court than us.
That's right.
But either way, 22-22. The Mustangs will take it, and we got a brand new game. You got to win by 2. So although Norwood gets that point and they inch closer, just getting to 25 is not enough if you can't
go by 2.
Stop Norton here.
And I tell you, this Xavier has played solid tonight.
Xavier from the line. Deep serve comes at Evora. Now for the outside. Mello Cruz with the left hand. Finds kind of the Achilles heel of the Norwood defense today. That spot in the middle has resulted in a couple miscommunication instances, and it knocks things back up again at 23. So here's Evora from the line. The serve comes to Diaz. Watkins sends it over on 2. George now for Stroney with the push pass. Watkins tries the kick. Throws it back, accidentally hits Diaz in the face on it. But now Norton is on the doorstep.
All right, big point here. Big point.
I think Watkins thought about diving for it, opted for the kick. Either way, it didn't work. And now Evora will try to close it out. Here's Watkins. He goes to Cohen, and Cohen is long. No contact from the Norton team, and they take a thrilling set 2, 23-25.
I thought they might do it. I thought they were going to come back. Boy, not for lack of trying.
So the teams will talk things over. They'll have about a 3-minute break here. Really back and forth third set.
Absolutely.
The Lancers are now up 2-1 in the contest. The Mustangs took the first set 25-21. The Lancers took the second set 25-10. And now the Lancers eke by in the third set 25-23.
So this is a must-win game for Norwood.
Yeah, absolutely. But if the Mustangs do win it, what's interesting is if you do go to a 5th set, it's only to 15.
That's right.
The teams switch sides halfway through. And if you're Norwood and you can take this 4th set, you're coming into a much shorter 5th set with momentum on your side.
Momentum, which is, they really do make it very equal in volleyball. Like, you switch sides, which I do think some players some players feel comfortable on one side or the other, and so you can't say it's so equal. Like, and even the 5th set, nope, we're playing 15 points, and halfway through.
Yeah, and they switch them, and it's not a timeout. It's not like they go to sit down. They make the players, get to those spots.
Yep. They don't.
And that always was something when I was coaching freshmen, because we did not have the middle school program for the girls that we do now. John Longley has really helped us out by getting the program at the middle school level going. But when I was coaching, we were just kind of introducing a lot of them to volleyball.
So they were like, wow, we got to switch sides?
Yeah, so when you switch sides, your position on one side of the court is not your mirror image on the other side. So we would have a lot of cases where, all right, we switch sides, especially early in the season. Hold on, where do I go?
Where do I go?
And meanwhile, the referees are saying, hold on, no, play has to keep going. You can't take a timeout. So.
And you're like, but we don't lose a point.
That's it. Well, I always said there's a couple of goals when I was coaching freshmen. Teach them the game, have them keep the energy high, and just have fun doing it. And the girls program has been thriving here at the school on the hill. You got a varsity program, you got a JV program, you got a freshman program, and now middle school.
They usually get big numbers.
Yeah.
And which is, and in the fall, there's so many sports.
Well, that's the other thing. You're competing.
You're competing against so many other sports. It's
we have lost some really good athletes to the soccer team over the years. We've lost some good athletes to the field hockey program, which is a storied program here. And even cheerleading.
Cheerleading has exploded.
We have lost some great athletes to cheerleading, and nothing against Coach Buckman in that program. She does a wonderful job with them.
They can run. There's cross country.
That's right. So either way, we get ready to go here in the fourth set. Joe Panola, Nora Glynn with you from Norwood High School. Sam Gurney on single camera today. So thanks to Sam for bringing you all the action. And away we go. Ray Mello Cruz off the head of Nate Kravitz. Keeps it in play. Alex George from the back line. Will set up Mello Cruz, who comes right at Eugene. Eugene is there for the dig.
What do you have?
Yeah, they're going to say Norwood before that had a double hit. Either we didn't hear the whistle or it was a very late one, as Eugene dug it really well.
Really well. I thought that was going to be Norwood's point.
Great positioning from the senior, who seemed to give a team a boost with that. Now Kravitz tries to dunk it in. DeMore goes to the outside. And Andrew Stroney is met with a double block, but he doesn't care. He gets the kill anyway and puts Norton up 2-0. So the Lancers, Nora, have indeed scored the first 2 points, I believe, in every set now.
Every set. Whether they win,
They've now scored the first 3 in this one.
That was
As Norton celebrates with their whole team doing a leg kick, so maybe they're going to step dancing classes after this one, but seems to be getting the team together.
For agility.
Absolutely. Watkins with a one-hand set. He comes to Randall, who delivers a big kill.
Now,
Cy Randall leaving no doubt.
What's the rule about going over the middle line? Can you ever step over it, or just...
So you can step over. You can't attack.
Oh, okay. But you can't, push off.
In front of that middle line. So if you're a back row player...
If you come down, you can't.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, so you can't have that foot closer to the net if you're a back row player when you're attacking the ball.
Okay.
So we will see some back row attacks occasionally as we go, especially coming to Stroney and Eugene. And that's why a player like Diaz or like George or Norton, they're not going to get a ton of kills because they're playing in the back row and they can't really attack above the net. But you will see them collect some if the team decides to set them. Sebastian Eugene gets the kill here for Norwood. He watched his counterpart Stroney get a kill in the face of a double block, and Eugene answers. He does the same.
You called that at the beginning of the match?
All credit goes to Coach Nimblad. He knew it from the start. He said, number 9, they go to him a lot, and they do, but with good reason.
Absolutely.
At least for Coach Hardiman and the Lancers. So here's Ray Mello Cruz. We've seen that lefty serve a bunch. That could certainly throw players off. Nice job by Eugene to dig it, and he spins around this one. Might have gotten dizzy on that, but puts it over. Stroney with the shot here comes right at Diaz, who is in good position. But Mateo with a couple of big claps there. Can't quite handle it. Norton's up 4, 6-2. So Mello Cruz here. Once again with that left-handed serve. He comes at Cohen this time. Cohen's first pass goes right over on 1, and Norton, I think, was not expecting that.
No, they canceled it, but...
So Watkins will go to Eugene, and this one a rare miss as he was targeting Alex George on that one. I was
going to say that, a rare miss, but he has been, Alex, what is his last name?
Alex George. He's been really good, the libero for Norton.
Real good.
Wearing number 2, that white jersey. This one comes right at George again. He sends it over on 1, and Norwood, answers right back. It is number 25, Luke Fleming, who gets the kill there. And the Mustangs back within 2 as Norton leads 6-4. Tell you, they really did it to me today with Norwood, Norton, and calling the game with Nora Glynn. The Nors are strong today.
Whatever we say.
There we go. But either way, this time it is Norwood that gets the point, and they are within 1. And with Cy Randall at the line, Norwood has been very successful today. He has collected they have collected a lot of points on his serve. This one gets close to being out, but Benson Chang keeps it in for Norton. Watkins goes to Eugene, who's almost a little bit out of position there, but he makes a nice play on it. Now Eugene with the set. Good hands from him. Watkins puts it over, a little bit of a scramble. And Watkins now tries the dump. So a lot of pitch and catch between Watkins and Eugene. And Stroney now around the outstretched arms of Diaz puts Norton up 2. So 7-5 in favor of the Lancers as Hakeem Cohen has to go chase it and rolls it back in. So here is Andrew Stroney, who has been so impressive so far today. Finds himself at the service line. And there's one of those Coach Nimblett points. I think I heard him yell out.
Because he was, Mateo was going to go for it.
Absolutely. My eyes were still on the Lancer side of the court, and Nimblett knew it from the start. So the coach, with a little bit of assist from Mateo, wins the point for the team on that one. And Norton answers right back as this one kind of comes over the net kind of awkwardly for Fleming.
Okay, I'm just going to make a little comment here. I just realized Xavier Watkins has 2 different colored sneakers on. Is that a thing now?
I am not sure. Interesting seeing some of the sneakers as Norwood's kind of rocking the pink sneakers for many players. Luke Fleming is one of those players, but he misses the hit on that.
Yeah, you're right. There's like 3 of them. But then I looked at him and I go, oh.
Maybe
he's wearing the stocking too, so then I think that threw me off, and then I go, wait, he has one white one.
Absolutely, and he's got the white shoe on the leg that's got the
stocking,
the long black stocking on it.
So I was like, oh.
Here we go. Either way, it seems to be very effective for Watkins.
It worked for him, so
It did, as this one, this bump off of Cy Randall doesn't quite find the other side.
I think Watkins had a great game. Great game.
You have been singing his praises all day. He has looked fantastic. You always got to have a good setter, especially somebody who's a leader. And Watkins has been just that today. Eugene puts it in a good spot, but a nice play by Stroney keeps it in. But we're going to see a double hit violation against Stroney and the Lancers. And Norwood keeping pace at least here. They're down 10-7. But especially in this do-or-die 4th set, you don't want this to get away from you.
Absolutely. Stay within 2 or 3.
Fleming serve comes at Stroney. Demore to the outside. Ivora hangs in the air for quite a long time. Now Watkins goes to Hakeem Cohen. Almost eats up Benson Chang. Stroney from the back row. Norwood keeping it in, and they put it over.
Nice job by number 11.
You can touch the ball on the block and then retouch it. That's what we saw there from Nate Kravitz. And now Eugene from the back row almost hits Coach Hardiman. And it goes out of bounds. Norton point, they're up 4.
Why they call it a kill.
Substitution for both teams as Diaz enters for Norwood and Melo Cruz will enter for the Lancers as they replace Fleming and Chang respectively. Help call as Hakeem Cohen gets to it. Bit of a push pass from Watkins. Demore now for Melo Cruz, who skirts with the top of the net, and they will say a violation against Norwood. It's called against Hakeem Cohen this time. So Norwood now down 5. They were in a similar position in the 3rd set, came back a little bit to make it closer, and took the lead in that 3rd set, and eventually let it get away from them. So let's see what the Mustangs can do if they can settle the score here. Demore goes for Porter this time, and he is just wide. Not enough topspin for Jonathan, and the point goes to Norwood. They are now only down 8-12. So Xavier Watkins now from the line, and with Xavier serving, even though you have Sebastian Eugene in the back row, you've got 3 attackers there in that front row, as the Mustangs have the trio of Randall, Kravitz, and Cohen there, ready to kind of go to business. This one is kicked. Thought it almost didn't hit the ground for a second, as Diaz was pretty smooth on it. But they do say it got part of the ground, and Norton is back up 5. Ailton Ivora. Here comes the serve from him. Comes at Diaz, right to Watkins. This is what you want if you're Norwood. They instead decide to go with the push pass from Eugene, and Stroney finds some space on the backtracking Sebastian Eugene, and Coach Nimblett will take a timeout. Well, if you were with us for the first set, and you were just tuning in now, this game has changed in a hurry, hasn't it?
It absolutely has, yes.
Norton won set 2 25-10. They won set 3 25-23. That one obviously a nail biter that was knotted up at 23-23 before the Lancers closed it out. But now Norwood finds themselves down 6, 14-8, and this is do or die.
No, this is a must-win game, yes. Enough, they need to.
If the Mustangs do it and they were to force a decisive 5th set, that would be to 15. Either way, the Mustangs taking one set is at least going to help them a little bit, as Norton entered the contest with a slightly better record than them. But obviously, if you're Norwood and you've shown how close you can play with this team,
you want to be like, okay, why can't we win?
Finish the deal, right?
That's right, finish it. So
the Mustangs and their coaches talk things over.
Like Norton, always say Norton warmed up, and they're like, okay, we're ready to go now.
Yeah, the Lancers are the ones who have kept the foot on the gas so far. So with a couple other fans entering here now, we will see Ailton Nivora on the service line. His serve goes right at Diaz in the middle. Watkins trying to use that good first pass, comes to Randall, and a strong double block. It's Ray Mello Cruz, and it's Jonathan Porter. Not sure who got the actual block on that one, but they were right in the face of Cy Randall, getting the kill for the Lancers. So the Lancers now attempting to double up the Mustangs as they're one away from doing so. Kravitz there collides with the net, and that's exactly what happens. The Lancers up. No, excuse me.
No, I think.
Yeah, they'll call Norton for the violation. Excuse me.
I think Norton touched it.
So Akeem Cohen at the line, as that occurred before Randall swam into the net here. But Stroney with a very clean kill. He delivers and answers right back. So 16-9 after a little bit of the confusion there.
Yeah, he's powerful.
So this will send Jonathan Porter to the line, and this is the one rotation in Coach Hardiman's lineup where you won't see Norton's libero, Alex George, as Porter is in on the serve instead of him. Comes for Diaz here. Here's Watkins. Nice set for him to the weak side as Randall tries to get the kill from there. Watkins calls him off. And good eyes from X on that one. A little X-ray vision as he finds the back of the court there.
I like that.
There we go. Not sure if they use that on the court, but
they probably don't. But
I'm proud of that
one. You could use it.
16-10 now in favor of Norton as Mateo Diaz heads to the line. Serve from Mateo comes right at number 9, Andrew Stroney. Stroney gets it back, takes a little something off of it. Watkins has to play it on one, but always in a big spot. I tell you, if there's been a clutch player on this Norton side, it's been Bryson Chartier, number 3.
I agree. Like, he just comes up out of nowhere, and I'm like, whoa. He can read the floor real well, too. Bryson
was the one that got not only a big kill, but a big block as Norton was able to close out that third set. And now, with things starting to get a little bit out of hand for the Mustangs, down 18-10, Coach Nimblett will take a timeout here.
So how do you bring them back 8 points down? Like, what do you think he's telling them?
Well, he's got them all in the huddle there, right around the assistant coach, talking to, I saw him pull over Cy Randall at first, so maybe they're going to be channeling something through Cy. This is where you got to channel your inner Vince Lombardi and see what you're able to come up with.
See if he can.
And Coach Nimblett has made a lot of these speeches in his career here, and he has been coaching boys and girls volleyball for as long as I've been here, at least.
I'm trying to think how long.
It's at least 15 years at this point.
It's been a while.
And he has become a staple here. Used to also coach basketball.
Yes.
So he was a 3-season coach here, coaching JV basketball as well. But with his young son at home, he decided, let's take the winters off.
Winters off, because the winter can be very long and like those night games in the winter, that can be tough.
For sure. The spring season goes by rather quickly. In fact, I was looking at it just the other day. We're about halfway through the spring season already, or at least in terms of weeks if you don't count the school break. So, or maybe at the end of this week, so maybe I'm taking a little bit of license on that.
You're right.
But
I feel like it does.
Playoffs usually start up right around when our seniors leave, May 20th. I believe the last day for seniors at Norwood High School, or at least that's what they've been telling me in class. And Andrew Stroney here with possibly his biggest kill of the day around the outstretched arm of Akeem Cohen, 19-11 in favor of Norton.
And I'm sure the seniors know exactly what this is.
I always start talking to them kind of about the plan once we get maybe towards our last unit of the year. Hey, this is what we're looking at going forward for these last few weeks. And I think the countdown has definitely begun. And Eugene there with a nifty little play. Takes the quick set from Watkins and delivers on that one. Coach Nimblett says, hey, I like that. Let's see some more of that one. Norwood down 7, though, still in some deep trouble. And now they've got Eugene in the back row. And Sebastian misses a big serve here.
Yeah, that's a tough point to lose.
20-12, Norton on the doorstep.
Hate to see them miss a serve.
And Alex George now will serve, so Bryson Chartier checks out. This is why we've been seeing Alex kind of defer to Jonathan Porter on a couple of those serves, as he is in for Chartier instead. Diaz calls off Cohen. Here's the pass from Demore. He goes to Evora.
Short.
Into the middle of the court. Randall plays the first one, comes to Diaz and then to Watkins. Nice cover from Bench and Chang for Norton. Now Porter tries to go deep. Watkins, very close set, but it's handled nicely by Cohen.
Very good job by
Akeem doing a really good job on a tough set to deliver that one and keep Norwood in it.
I think sometimes you almost have to have a little patience. You don't want to just quick whack at the ball.
So 1 point at a time, I'm sure Coach is telling the Norwood Mustangs. That is not going to help, though, as Fleming is a little bit off on that serve.
It's just a tough way to lose a point.
And now with 4 points away, we'll see if Anthony Demore can close things off for the Lancers. Here comes the first serve from their captain. This one eats up Eugene. Diaz kicks it in, but Norwood can't ultimately put it through.
Wow.
What a diving attempt from Diaz as he went all the way to that back divider. Kicked it up, almost kicked it over on two.
And Watkins, it was almost true to the net.
A little bit of gentle ribbing between the two of them.
Well, I'm glad we have that on film.
Absolutely. A cool play from Mateo. Ultimately didn't result in a point, but it was neat to see.
That might have to get in the, what do they call them? The highlights, the highlight reel?
Top 10 on SportsCenter, right?
Maybe he didn't go over, but wow, what an effort.
Really nice work from him just to keep it alive. But either way, Norwood does take this point. And now we got Watkins at the line and 3 players in the front rows. So look out for Norwood and look out if you're Mateo on that one. As Stroney leaves no doubt about that one. He just seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on.
I was going to say that. I was like,
Coach Nimblett calling that there may have been a violation on that one. The referee is not hearing any of it.
maybe.
Yep, now we're going to get an explanation. So this is what you were saying earlier, Nora.
Okay, so the coach can't, but.
Yeah, so Xavier Watkins now will talk things over with the referee. He will get the explanation from the up ref, who will explain things over to the coach. And it looks like away we go. So Norton up 23-14. It'll be Ailton Evora trying to see if he can close it out. Akeem Cohen trying to go down the line, and he is just out of bounds on that one.
Too. He's like, that's right. That's not where I want to go, as my thought was.
And we hear another whistle here on this one. Thought they might reverse it for a moment. They don't. And they do opt for a replay. So still 23-14.
Oh, okay.
Watkins now to the back row kill attempt from Eugene. Porter gets first touch for Norton. Cohen is there on the block for Norwood. Good effort from him. Now Watkins plays the first one. Diaz back for Watkins, who sends a roll shot over. Demore to the outside. And we see a violation against Norton.
All right.
So 23-15, a glimmer of hope for the Mustangs as they get Sebastian Eugene back to the front row. And it'll be the sophomore Akeem Cohen, number 2, to serve. It's a short serve from Cohen. A nice diving attempt from George keeps it up for the Lancers. Here's Watkins. And that push pass was odd but effective. And Coach Nimblett, as he always likes to do, says, give me more of that.
And how close can the coach come on to that?
Yeah, he definitely stepped on the court on that one.
But no violation for that.
Comes to George here. Now, can Stroney get the kill? Yes, he can.
Stroney is no. He is like, no. He was soft, those other two, and then he's like, nope, coming down.
You saw that developing the whole way. The key on the play was the first pass from Alex George as he kind of dialed up Anthony Demore, who obviously has some very good chemistry with Stroney, and goes right to him. And now it'll be Jonathan Porter to see if he can end the game.
Make it hard.
24-16, the Lancers with the advantage. Comes right to Diaz. Mustangs will have to scramble. They send it over on a bump pass. Now can Bryson end it for Norton? He's been clutch for them. A little bit of a strange dump there from Watkins. Stroney will try to do it himself.
on.
And this will be the finishing touch as Diaz and Cohen run into the divider. The game ends with the Norton Lancers taking sets 2, 4, and 5 and putting the finishing touches on their 4th win of the season. So welcome back up here on the walking track. Joe Panola, Nora Glynn. Nora, the Lancers go to 4-4. The Mustangs fall to 2-5, but the Mustangs showed some fight, taking a good first set.
Absolutely. And a couple of great plays in that last game.
Absolutely. They didn't give up. We saw Diaz's kick play there at the end.
They almost had it.
A lot of freshmen getting some good action. Cy Randall played almost the whole game. And Luke Fleming, the same thing.
And such a contributor the whole time. They have serves and the other action, I think.
Absolutely, but either way, not the result that the Mustangs want today as they fall to Coach Meg Hardiman and a very impressive Norton Lancer team. We assume that Andrew Stroney has now surpassed the 500 kill barrier.
I think he did.
As the sign came out somewhere in that first set. Maybe the Lancer attention was towards that in that first set, as that was the only one they dropped. But either way, the Lancers will take a nice happy bus ride home as they head through that 95-495 interchange with some good news in their pocket. For the Mustangs, 2-5, they'll lick their wounds and come back after break to see if they can turn the tide. But either way, a fun match today, and always fun to do volleyball with you.
Absolutely, a pleasure. Always a pleasure with you.
Absolutely, a pleasure to also be joined by Sam Gurney. He is right behind the camera. Thanks to Sam for carrying the single camera shoot, and Ron Marshalsea, who today was kind of the jack of all trades for our NCM skeleton crew. But we're happy to bring you the game anyway. Stay tuned, as I'm sure we got some other things coming up right after this.
The rest of the season.
And a lot more sports coming your way. Spring season is really just starting to heat up, and we'll be carrying a lot of different sports for you.
For NCM. Thank you, NCM.
Yeah, thanks to MCM. For Nora Glynn, I'm Joe Panola. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a great evening, folks.